Welcome just to Metallarium Pages. It's a great pleasure to talk with you about who got destroyed, this new album Insanium, and obviously more things related to the metal war in general. So we are starting by asking when this band start to when this band's founded in general, who got destroyed.
Um, I'm not sure when they started talking about it, but uh, Derek messaged me about it in 2021. Uh, Probably like in spring, May, June, somewhere like that. He just asked me like if if I'd be interested to play bass in a band if you know the sound, if the songs are great and it fits my style, right? So I said, yeah, of course, right? It's Derek Shearing. Then then I didn't hear from him for a while, but then like probably in fall, like October, November, he invited me to his studio. Um, it's super close by. It's probably like 5 minutes like driving. Yeah, and went there. He showed me 3 tracks, and I really liked him. Then yeah, he told me to record bass over those tracks as like an audition.
Mm.
And I did that. And, they liked it. Well, Derek liked it, and Ron liked it too. So yeah, so that was 2021. So I'm pretty sure they were working on it before that, you know. So yeah, I don't know. I think 2021. Like I didn't write anything on this album. Everything was written basically when I joined.
Mhm.
When we actually started, everything was written. So um, yeah, but that was 2021. Then we didn't do anything till like 2023, I think. Yeah, we didn't do much. Like we were still like I thought this band wasn't gonna happen in 2021. I was still like, I kept in touch with Derek, but they were like doing some stuff. So yeah, finally it's happening.
Well, yeah, that is true. That is true. Oh, that
Yeah,
album that released last week. So, or releasing releasing 15 April 15.
yeah,
So, and with this aspect, so how do you feel to play with well-known musicians like Bumblefoot or Derek Sherinian? That are huge musicians in the world.
yeah. No. How do I feel? Well, I feel honored to be in a band with the. I need to keep it up for sure. Uh, you know, Definitely need to like work on my chops. Make sure like I'm you know I'm doing good. I'm tight. Uh, yeah, it's great. I mean, I love Dream Theater. Derek did 2 albums. I love Planet X. Quantum was like one of my favorite prog albums ever made. So yeah, when he you know messaged me was like, holy shit, you know, it's crazy, right?
Mm.
It's basically your hero hitting you up to be in a band with you. And Bumblefoot, obviously, like I know, I listened to some of his albums back in like high school, but I didn't really like follow with follow his music after that. But but I know he's insane, a crazy guitar player, you know. And they had Sons of Apollo too. That's a like that's a crazy band too. Like I love Mike Portnoy and Billy Sheehan. So obviously a hero. So yeah, it's I feel honored. I don't feel I don't really feel like pressure somehow, but because I've been doing some interviews and they ask me like, oh, you must be like really like, feel the pressure of like taking the chair of Billy, but I don't really consider it that way anyway. Billy is too big of a deal for me. It's like I don't think I'm like taking over his spot. It's like a separated thing, so I mean, I feel honored that I just need to make sure that I don't fuck up. So,
Okay. Okay, well, in these both answers, you mentioned it, the one you are pleased to play with Bubble Foot or with Derek Shaninian, great musicians, and especially for the metal rock in general. So, and for this aspect, you mentioned that Derek called you to play in Whom Got Destroyed to record this new album. So, for you, what do you think Derek saw in you when he called you up for the band?
uh, well, so I think so I'm originally a guitar player. I mean, I am still a guitar player. I still like consider myself more of a guitar player than a bass player, even though I love playing bass. And since I'm a guitar player, like I had a band uh like several years ago, and this band was all like guitar oriented, you know, music, like bunch of guitar riffs, which I had to do unisons with. So I really worked on my like unison chops, like not many bass players do that because some guitarists are like almost impossible on bass, right? Well, at least people think. I kind of figured out how to play with like multiple fingers, not just two. I mean, of course, I play with two fingers too. I can play this way too. So I'm good at doing unisons, I guess. I think that's what Derek wanted, you know, because some riffs, I don't know if you listen to it. I'm pretty sure you listen to the album, but some riffs are crazy. Like those are not supposed to be like in unison with the bass. Even though it's cool, but it sounds sick. But when they send me the track, 2023, I guess, they send me the bass MIDI files too. They kind of program the basic bass track, right? And some of them are unison, and like, oh man, I need to learn this. you know. So I think that's probably why. I think I don't know. He saw some clips like on my Instagram, just playing like technical stuff. So I think that's what he wanted. Then obviously he needed to check the other sides, right? Like playing actual bass, like actual bass parts, not just unisons. And yeah, I guess he liked it. So yeah, but I think the main reason is just like the technique that I mean I'm not trying to sound for myself or anything, but like the technique that I got from guitar, you know. So
Mhm.
that's
Okay.
probably yeah.
Mhm.
I think I'm not sure. I never asked.
Okay, well, yeah. Okay, well, you mentioned it that some songs in this new Insanium are very difficult or challenging to play
Mm.
in the bass area. So for this aspect, for you, which song for you was the most difficult to learn in bass and to play and record, obviously, and play live?
Yeah. Uh, it must be Hypernova.
Mm.
Uh, those riffs are like, yeah. Especially the ending riff was, like the instrumental track. I forgot track 7, so or 8. Yeah, that riff, the ending riff was just the hardest. I had to really practice, and I didn't want. I tried not to use the pick usually because I feel like that's just like I'm defeated as a guitar player, I always avoided to use a pick because I feel like bass players are gonna come at me. Oh, you're just playing your guitar on bass, right? So I always avoided it. But this one, like, there was no way to be able to play with fingers. And actually, playing it with a pick sounds good sometimes. Sounds really good. So this one I had to use a pick, but still, like, it was so hard. I don't know how. I think Ron wrote that track, but I don't know how he came up with those riffs. Um, Other one is Crawl. The intro is really tough. Um, yeah. So those are the two. Cruise Fire is tough too, I think.
Mhm. Okay, interesting to know. So this new album, Insanium, shows the old and new era of musician. Why I say that? Because as I mentioned, Derek is well known since the 90s, Bumblefoot since the 90s, but Dino, you, and Bruno are musicians since 2000s, so new musicians that grow up or their influence. So for you, how do you see this encounter of old musicians with the new musicians, old techniques with new techniques? How do you see this concept and this insane?
I think it's great that Ron and Derek are willing to, take younger musicians, because I don't know what they may, they might want something like, more modern sound wise. I think it's a great thing. It happens a lot in jazz. A lot of jazz legends take younger musicians, and then of course they play with their old friends too sometimes. But usually, like when they form a new band, they hire younger musicians, and kind of music evolves, right? Um, so hopefully, I'm like, I can, next album, like I've been trying to write for God's Destroy's new album. We are already like talking about the second album. Um, so hopefully, like I can kind of bring like new, wind or color or whatever it is. So it's a great thing, and also like I'm good friends with Dino. We did a track for my other band called the Resonance Project. I hit him up because my friend kind of recommended him uh, as a singer for this track. And, I didn't know that he was gonna be the singer for Whom Goes Destroyed back then. I think he knew that Derek was like talking to me, but yeah, then there was this like chemistry. We really got along too. I loved what he did on the track, vocally. So I'm definitely excited to play with him. And Bruno is also an amazing drummer. I met him like a long time ago. First, we went to see. I think we went to see Virgin Donati, or maybe Alan Holdsworth with Virgin Donati. A Big Potato, this famous jazz club in LA. Yeah, it's funny. We went there to. I think I went to pick him up like 10 years ago. Then yeah, I bumped into him a few years ago too. And I actually talked to him about this band because we were looking for a drummer. You know, when everything was in the air, like I just bumped into him. And I was like, man, he'd be a great guy for this band. Then yeah, here we are. You know,
Mm,
well, yeah, Dino gave them the word about Bruno at the end, but yeah, it's crazy how everything like came together.
okay. Okay. You mentioned a few minutes ago that there are little pressure or something like the screwing up to not leave the band because that's normal. You are when a huge musicians now. So for you, which do you think was the the error that in this time will you screw up for to leave Whom God Destroy?
I don't know. I don't know. Well, hopefully that won't happen. You know, I mean, you know, it's a. I'm definitely stoked to play, you know, with this band and you know tour and stuff. Well, so hopefully, you know, I'm definitely, you know, yeah, I need to keep it up, you know. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
And you know, I
Oh.
definitely want to like write with them, you know, too, because that's gonna inspire me a lot too, for sure. You know,
Mm,
so
okay. Well, talking, you mentioned about talking all the tours, about this kind of as so, and relate obviously with the obviously with the promotion from this new album of this first album. So, what kind of plans the band has for this Insanium? Perhaps will embark tours in Europe, US. Who knows? What kind of plans do you have? Perhaps more videos upcoming. Who knows?
well, we were supposed to go to Europe, but unfortunately got canceled. So nothing planned for this year. Oh, you know, we're all busy. I'm gonna be on tour for like 7 months in Japan and Asia probably, starting from next month with other artists. Uh, and you know, everybody's touring. Uh, so this year we might not be doing, you know, be able to do anything. Uh, so that's probably why we're already working on the second album.
Mm,
So hopefully we can release it next year. Hopefully early next year. Then we can start touring. So I think that's what we are talking about. Like this year we can't do much, you know. And also, you know, touring costs a lot of money. So it might be better for us to you know, build our name. I mean, because those guys are already famous. We just need
okay.
to put the name out there, you know. Because I talk to some people and they know about them, the Extraordinary Bumblefoot, but they don't know about this band, right? So we just need to like kind of promote it online and we get a bigger name. So we get, when we tour, we get more people. I think it's just a smarter way too. I wish we could play like a couple of shows at least this year though, but let's see. You know, it could happen still. It's still March. So
Mhm. Okay.
nothing. Yeah.
Okay, interesting to know. So, speaking of this topic, you mentioned that well, you are perhaps scheduling tours for the next year, or perhaps some gigs now for this year. So, I'm also in this case, all musicians are busy with their main bands because Bruno plays in Angra. They will do a lot of tours around the world. Dino, I saw that has a lot of bands playing with other bands. Obviously, Derek and Ron are still playing with other bands, still playing, releasing new albums. And you obviously you are mentioning that you have your own project. So how do you figure out to gather all you to do a rehearsal for a tour because it's very difficult.
Yeah. Also, so Derek, Bruno, and I are in LA, Los Angeles, California, but Ron is in the on the East Coast, and Dino is in Croatia. So yeah, I don't know how we're gonna rehearse, but we probably won't have we get to rehearse like that much, probably like a few days, or maybe you know rehearsal. Well, yeah, but you know, I think you know all of them are great musicians. Like if we really you know learn the songs before the rehearsal, we can make it through. I'm pretty sure. But yeah, well, you know, but you know, scheduling wise, I mean, you know, my band is not doing anything right now. And, you know, I'm actually going on tour with an artist. I'm like playing for him. So, you know, that's like a hired gun thing. So, you know, of course, if I have a tour with my own band, I would probably take that, right?
Mm. Mm, okay.
I try at least.
Mhm.
So, yeah, my band is kind of on a break. I've been working on I'm trying to release a solo album, so I've been working on that too. But I don't have to. I'm not gonna tour with that. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna try to
Mm.
do leave my schedule open for the band. Um, I don't know about the other guys, but I'm pretty sure Bruno. Yeah, I mean, I think whatever comes first for us. But if we can plan things ahead, we can just put the plan on the schedule. So yeah, hopefully. But I think all guys are like into this band. They want to do. We all want to do it. So
Mm.
we'll definitely make it work. You know. And Dino only has his own band and this band now. So he's been doing like guest vocals on people's albums, but yeah,
Mm.
yeah,
Okay. Okay. Well, I know that sometimes it's very difficult. So,
yeah.
well, talking about one thing that you mentioned at the beginning of the interview, you received all these 9 or 10 songs, all written at that time because you just record the songs just because Derek and Bumblefeet created all songs is the beginning and now they're releasing. So for you, in which songs do you think you place your essence as a musician with this new album? Which songs for you say, hey, this part is my essence in these songs?
Uh, well, so one is the beginning of intro of Find My Way Back. I did like a little, you know, fretless bass,
Mm,
a little like I kind of wanted to do like a harmony to the melody, kind of. Not really, but I kind of followed. That's something that wasn't there uh, in the demo. I just I just threw it in there. Um, and Hypernova, there's like a middle section. I threw in the theme of this bebop song called Jet Steps. I don't know if you recognize that, but I thought that was cool. You know, and this line, I was using a pig. Uh, yeah, those are the two I think. But I like the sound we got, like the bass sound we got. Ron did it. I think Ron mixed it and mastered it. He did a great job. The bass sounds massive. And yeah, I use thumb. It's not like slap, but like I use my thumb like a pick and use like these plugs to uh so it sounds like it's like in between fingers and picks, and you get the slap sound too. So that's something like I kind of developed over the years. I had a good friend. I have he's still my good friend, but his name's Chase Bryant. He does this thing a lot, like double. What do you call it? Like thumping or whatever. And I kind of figured out, the thumping thing that Tosin Abasi does. I was working on a guitar, but it was so hard. And on bass, I kind of like managed to work it out. And it's great. It sounds good, and you're capable of like playing some riffs that would be hard to play just with this. And, this sounds good, but it's not as punchy, right? When you slap, it's like you get the
yeah.
attack. So yeah, I'm happy with what we got on the bass for sure. Um, yeah, hopefully people like it too. But I'm I'm pretty yeah, proud of the bass tracks, at least. I mean, the songs are great too.
Okay, okay. Well, talking about other kind of topics, one we spoke a lot about this new album, Hopes, and your intervention on this new one. So, but talking about different kind of things, especially related with the metal, with the progressive technical or no, this kind of music. So a lot of virtues, or I think they call or so-called calisthenic musicians, because there are a lot, as you can see around the world, you can see a lot of musicians playing fast, a lot of technical, progressive around the world. That's normally now. In but and for you that you are belongs to this era, the virtuous musicians, calisthenic musicians with a lot of technique in all these instruments. So how do you see this kind of metal compared with the old stuff, especially for the progressive metal from the 80s, from the 90s, and now we have different kind of era in the metal, especially in the progressive, with a lot of technique. How do you
Yeah.
see these differences?
Well, it's great. Definitely, there's some guys that are like, holy shit, you know. I'm like, I'm never gonna get to this level, like type of guy. But you know, I definitely spend a lot of time on my technique, especially well on bass too. On yeah, you're talking more about the guitar, right? Guitar
No,
scene.
in general, for all instruments in
You know?
general.
Okay. But yeah, you know, I see a lot of guitarists on the you know on social medias and stuff. Yeah, it's insane. You know, I get inspired a lot. You know, there's this guy like his name's Steven Taranto from Australia. It's insane. You know, there are some other guys. So I used to like my goal was to like get to that level for a while, but I don't know. I kind of lost you know, the the drive for it because I think at the end it's you know technique is technique. You know, it's great to have lines like I love Steven, you know, his lines and stuff. But to me, it's you know at the end it's about the music. So and your touch on the guitar because there's some guys that are super fast but they can't play you know like a regular melody nicely. You know when you hear Joe Satriani, like his touch on his melodies is just beautiful. You know, of course he's got chops too, really interesting lines and tricks, but you know, and the songs is super accessible. You know, like great melodies. So, you know, I'm not saying like I don't like people that are trying to copy him now because he's already done it. There's no point, right? But that's the thing about John Petrucci too. You know, Dream Theater songs are amazing, and his solos are technical. Well, some solos are super technical, but his touch is amazing, and also like some solos, like I don't know, uh, I don't know if you know the solo from Spirit Carries On. Like the melody is just, and how he takes it, like the you know, it's a part of the song. It's like the chord progression kind of raises, you know. Um, that's like at the end, like I figured that's what you know what resonates with me. So I've been focused on more than that than you know. Well, you know, I did enough of technique, you know.
Mm.
I still, you know, of course, you know, I play a lot of notes still, but that's not really the important thing to for me, at least right now. Um, so the touch, you know, recognizable touch, tone, you know, because you can probably, you know, hear if you hear them, like you can tell who's who, right? So I think that's what's missing right now in this era, and like I'm trying to like get that too. Um, there's some guys that are very, who has like their sound. Um, but in general, it's like everybody's like starting to sound the same because I don't know. The I think it's the gears too, the plugins and stuff, digital plugins. Those are
Mm,
great. I use them too, but I feel like people tend to end up on the same kind of tone somehow. I
okay.
try to avoid it. So when I record, I use an amp at least for the lead playing because I don't want to fall into that, the
Hmm.
digital war. So yeah, that's something. And the songwriting is like the most important thing at the end, you know.
Yes. Yes, yes. Well,
Yeah.
with this situation of having calisthenic musicians on social media, well, and this is one of the last questions. Many of these musicians only focus on juggling instruments, and of the thousand of people who do it, there are 20 or there are 10 or 20 who do something fundamental with their personal bands and create something interesting with their music. All people from, I don't know, a lot of drummers, bass players, guitars that appears on YouTube, on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, I don't know, just juggling with the instrument and nothing else. So, do you think that now most of these musicians or calisthenic musicians have lost the essence of create music and only focus on entertaining people by making covers or gaming with the instruments or so on?
Well, I don't know exactly because I, you know, it's hard to say because they might not just post what they're working on. Because I used to do that too. I was always working on my music, but the things like those, if I play that, if I film that, that won't get many views. Whatever like super fast, shorter clips will get you more views. So I was posting a lot of those uh, to build my following on Instagram. And then after a while, like I mean, I already had an album out, I think, or I think I was working on the album with the Resonance, my other band. Uh, so it sucks to be judged that way for a musician like that. Uh, people say, "Oh, where's the soul?" Like, there's no soul in this. I'm just trying to like get more views, you know. Obviously, you know. And those guys don't, they don't check out my whole thing. They just see one clip and you get judged. So that it's a tough situation for us too. I don't think. Well, some of them, you know, might be true. Like you said, they might be just, you know, masturbating on their instrument all day long, and they just want to show off. But you know, I'm pretty sure some of them are working on their own music, and who knows, the music might be amazing, you know. So it's just like the whole social media and the people who watch, you know, the social media. We don't have, long enough like attention span. So so I try not to like when I hear something good, I try to watch the whole thing. Like jazz videos. Those can those can be long. Like 3 minutes, 4 minutes. That's long for Instagram, right? People will skip it. That's why I don't post that much of that on my channel because I know people are not gonna watch it. Like longest would be like a minute or a minute and a half. You know, so that's like that's not. I don't think that's the musicians. It's more about the whole social media thing. Like people don't have long attention span. And it's just like a natural thing. It's when you have stuff like this, social media. That's apparently that's what happens to humans, you know. So people are like, I think people adapt into it, you know, young musicians adapt to it. So I definitely want to, you know, uh, encourage them to write their own music, and a lot of them must be, you know, but it doesn't look like they are because those won't get to views.
Mm.
It's better to get more followers than release your stuff, then
Mm.
people are gonna listen to it.
Well, yeah,
If you
that
don't
is
have any following, but you have such beautiful music, you post it, but don't nobody's gonna see it. But if you have all the chops, why not show off those chops and get more following, then release it? It's like the TikTok game that
yeah.
pop artists are facing right now. Like
Mm.
they can't even release singles until they blow up on
Yeah.
TikTok. It's the same thing.
Yes, well, it's a things of a game. Well,
Yeah.
well, that's interesting answer from you. Yes.
That's a great.
Well,
That's a question. Yeah.
well, yes. The sad times arrive at this interview. I hope you enjoyed this one like me. This new album is amazing from Whom Got Destroyed. I did my pre-order, so I have arrived soon. So perhaps do you want to add something to the Latin American fans and obviously Metallica followers?
Well, check out the album. Hopefully you guys already did, but yeah, and yeah, I would love to come to South America, Latin America. So yeah, just listen to it, and yeah, stay tuned for, you know, the second album. Is we're already talking about working on it. Yeah, just enjoy the album, and yeah.